happy at times. The point deduction by the referee, I don't know where that referee was looking at. I don't know what he was doing. The first knockdown was legitimate when Chisora went through the ropes. The second one was more through fatigue, where Wilder had backed him up onto the ropes. He threw a shot, it didn't hit.
I don't think that's your job, Mr. Referee. You're not supposed to, and if you hadn't helped him back into the ring, he would have been counted out.
Sometimes it came up the middle, a lot of the time it was landing high on Chisora's head. Obviously Chisora's down here coming in low, isn't he? So he's catching him there, and I thought it seemed like things were against him tonight, Wilder. Do you know what I mean? I thought the referee...
I was about to ask you, like...
Yeah, referee, I mean, it's...
It was a good fight, it was a competitive fight. I thought Wilder won. I thought he won. But listen, Del Boy's a warrior, unbelievable heart, and a good entertaining fight.
Boxing pros slammed Derek Chisora for accusing referee after loss to Deontay Wilder, and critics are now questioning his reaction to the referee as well. Instead of accepting responsibility, Chisora highlights alleged mistakes, but analysts argue this is deflection. They point out that the referee managed a chaotic physical fight, and blaming him overshadows Wilder's key moments and Chisora's own mistakes in the ring.
It's quite different about Derek Chisora, in terms of heavyweight boxing at least. When he says he's going to take the fight to somebody and he's fearless of anybody, that's exactly what he is, and he does exactly what he said he was going to do. You know, from the opening bell, he just went after Wilder. Bearing in mind, Wilder's got one of the highest knockout ratios, not in the world, but of any heavyweight that's ever lived. He's knocked out a ton of guys, and all right, he's not the Wilder of old, but he still carries a lot of power.
And here Chisora doubles down on his frustration. He claims the ropes were loose, argues he was pushed, and insists the referee mismanaged both knockdowns and point deductions. But critics say this is classic post-fight deflection, where a fighter shifts blame to officiating instead of accepting a chaotic but fair decision inside the ring.
I didn't agree with that. You know, the ropes were very loose. I went on the ropes, he fell into me, pushed me, the ref said break, and then it broke. I went through the ropes, they started counting. The second time, they took a point, and it still counted me out, but I don't understand why.
And Deontay Wilder fires back in frustration, arguing the referee completely lost control of the situation. Wilder claims illegal back-of-the-head shots were allowed, warnings were ignored, and even Chisora's corner stepping in added chaos. He insists it should have been a disqualification, saying he felt like he was fighting both Chisora and the referee inside a completely chaotic ring.
Because a referee decided to allow something to happen that it shouldn't have happened. That was one of the things the referee asked, do we have questions? And Shelley brought it to his attention. It was one of the things we warned him to not do. It's allow him to hit me in the back of the head. And then it's supposed to have been a disqualification because his team ran up in the ring. I mean, damn, I'm fighting Derek and the referee.
Jeff Powell, MBE, sharply highlights the confusion surrounding the referee's decision-making, but makes it clear the situation is being exaggerated by Derek Chisora's side. He notes there was genuine inconsistency in counting, with some claiming 3 counts while others only observed 2 clear knockdowns through the ropes. Importantly, these were legal knockthroughs, not fouls, and in one instance Chisora was even helped back into the ring, showing the referee was managing a chaotic but controlled situation rather than making biased errors.
Well, it reached the point where he apparently wasn't sure of how many counts he'd given. Some people were saying 3. I counted 2, both times when Derek was through the ropes legally, not thrown over or whatever, it was knocked through the ropes twice.
Adam Smith brutally sums up the chaos of the fight, describing it as absolute madness rather than a technical boxing match. He makes it clear there was no clean boxing on display, just a brutal war of attrition where both fighters relied on toughness, pride, and survival instincts. Smith highlights that at this stage of their careers, Chisora and Wilder gave fans a pure street fight style battle, full of resilience and damage, delivering 12 rounds of non-stop action that entertained the crowd despite the lack of technical discipline.
It was quite eventful. It was absolute madness. Crazy fight, fun fight. Fans loved it. How do you dissect it? So much happened. I think you don't look at it as any technical skills, and they're all warriors, aren't they? You look at it as what it was, a street fight, a war, two guys going for it, pride, showing great chins actually, resistance, resilience. At their ages and stages, they owe us nothing in the boxing world, and they dished up 12 rounds of that, which was... I thought he looked better. Listen, Chisora's not easy. Do you know what I mean? He's a tough man. He's not an easy guy to beat. Obviously, I wasn't impressed with Wilder, but I was more impressed than I thought.
Deontay Wilder just scraped by Derek Chisora in what might be the messiest heavyweight war of the year. And the reactions from boxing insiders, they're all over the place.
He's got a tremendous chin, as you see. He took some really big shots, but he was very patient, he worked hard and broke him down. And when he got the opportunity to catch him clean, those two shots were phenomenal.
Eddie Hearn straight up admits Wilder looked better than expected, but still wasn't fully convincing. That's coming from a guy who promotes Anthony Joshua. When even your rivals give you credit, you know something's up.
We got a fight which had everyone on their feet in the last round with an atmosphere that you couldn't cut through, and it was insane. It delivered. They delivered exactly what it said on the tin. We said it's going to be an unforgettable night. What a fight.
Frank Warren drops the real insight here. Wilder didn't just rely on that right hand power. He showed patience, took heavy shots, and stayed composed while slowly breaking Chisora down. That's not the old Wilder we remember.
A lot of good shots off, but, you know, it wasn't nothing to a king. You know, I'm a king, and I showed that tonight. The punches I absorbed, and I came back. It's all about having fun. I had to heal. You know, it took a long time for me to heal, but I'm back. And I'm going to get better and better each and every time.
But here's where it gets wild. Kala Sauerland called this a throwback war that delivered on every promise. Both fighters left everything in the ring, creating pure chaos from start to finish. The kind of fight that keeps fans on their feet.
You thought it was going to be entertaining, had its ebbs and flows, had its ups and downs, it had its moments. It did have all of those pieces, so yeah.
Now listen to Wilder himself after the fight. He's calling himself a king and completely dismissing every shot Chisora landed. Claims none of those punches affected him. But the scary part? He's talking about still improving.
He looked better. I thought he looked better. Listen, Chisora's not easy. Do you know what I mean? He's a tough man. He's not an easy guy to beat. Obviously, I wasn't impressed with Wilder, but I was more impressed than I thought.
If this version of Wilder is still getting better while carrying that knockout power, the entire heavyweight division has a serious problem. That's not just confidence talking. That's a dangerous reality check for every top contender.
Phenomenal. His jab was great. Body shots, particularly tonight, targeted.
The scoring was all over the place because this fight was pure madness. Fabio breaks it down perfectly: ups, downs, knockdowns, constant momentum shifts. Nearly impossible to score cleanly, but Wilder landed the cleaner work.
It was like bull rushing him like a bull in a china shop. It meant that Wilder was already backing himself up to the ropes even faster and even more off balance. And Chisora made a concerted effort to go to Wilder's body. He was letting some of those body shots go from very, very early on. And I did feel at times Wilder looked a little bit uncomfy. He was clinching a lot more than we're ever used to seeing him. But we were, from the first round, it was apparent we were in for a very wild fight and a fun fight, but a very messy fight at the same time. Because towards the back end of the first round, both guys ended up on the ropes, and it was...
Adam Smith caught something crucial that everyone else missed. Wilder's jab was setting up attacks, body shots were breaking through Chisora's defense, and that right hand over the top kept finding its mark. This wasn't just power.
It's fair because this fight came down to Wilder hurting Chisora multiple times, getting more leverage the times he was able to get off with his punches, but Chisora outworking him for stretches of the fight, for big portions of the fight, where he just burrowed his way in, pulled his way in, and got clubbing shots into the body. A lot of times, though, in this fight, Wilder would clinch Chisora once he got to the real estate he wanted to get into, which was his chest, and he got there very often, and he got Wilder.
From round one, Chisora came charging like a bull, forcing Wilder backwards and off balance against the ropes. Liam Goh explains how messy this got immediately, more clinching than usual from Wilder. No rhythm, just chaos.
I thought Deontay won, but it was hard to score because the rounds were so chaotic, really. I expected them, the scorecard, to be all over the place, which it kind of were, but I feel...
Sean Zittel calls them two worn warriors well past their prime. But here's the thing, they still produced an entertaining war full of momentum swings. Split decision was correct because of Wilder's bigger moments versus Chisora's pressure. So after all this chaos and controversy, we're left with one massive question. What really matters more in heavyweight boxing, clean moments of power or relentless pressure and heart? Wilder had the fight changing shots. Chisora brought non-stop aggression from bell to bell. The debate over the result and scoring will continue long after the final bell because this wasn't a clean boxing lesson, it was pure war. Both men proved they still belong at the highest level, even with questions about how much they have left. Who really won this war in your eyes? Was it Wilder's power or Chisora's pressure? Drop your opinion in the comments. Smash that like button if this breakdown helped you understand what really happened. And subscribe because heavyweight boxing just got a lot more interesting.